Now let's talk about the fight. I mean, I don't even know how many years it's been nothing but big fight after big fight after big fight. Is there still, I know you said you do this because you get that excitement, you get that fear, but like fight week, is there still that nerves? Is there still that excitement? Or at this point, is this is just who I am and what I do?
A little bit of both. This is who I am and what I do. I mean, walking this walk, coming in here, talking to you guys, checking in with the UFC. This might be like the 30th time I've done it. And it's just part of the process. It feels normal to me, but what never goes away is those feelings and that anxiety all week, prepping, thinking about the fight when I lay down at night. That never goes away. That's always there, man.
Yeah. I've heard you say a few times lately, like, I don't have to fight anymore. Like, my family's good. Knowing that, has the family ever said, hey, Dustin, you don't have to fight anymore. Could you please not?
Yeah, my mom told me that after the second fight in Abu Dhabi. She was like, I think it's enough, you've done it enough. But this is what I do, man.
Level before a fight, but a fight like this with a guy that you've been in there with that is going to put you through those car crashes that you're used to. What's the feeling like ahead of that?
Yeah, I feel good, man. It's always nice to be back in the main event under the spotlight. I missed it, so I'm excited to be back here and excited to perform again. It's what I love to do.
Is there any different mindset? Because I'm sure there's certain matchups that you go, I bet I could go dominate that guy. This doesn't look like a fight where either guy's going to be able to dominate, right? Like it's going to be a war, and that's what everybody's excited about. Is that a different feel?
Every fight you prepare for is the reason why we're such big fans of this sport is because it's so anything, anytime. Any shot, one shot's all it takes. And yeah, this guy is dangerous. And usually, I've accepted that this is a 50-50 fight in my mind, and with the with the chance at retribution, it's been driving me every day.
Yeah, no doubt. Talk about prepping for this fight. Like I said, it's been nothing but big fights, right? But a fight that is going to be a battle that you had before and was a battle, right? Is there a different mentality or a different approach knowing like, I'm probably not going to get out of there and get out in 5 minutes. It's going to be a battle.
Yeah, when they called me, because we were talking about doing this fight, a few months ago when they first called me and started talking about Justin potentially being the opponent. Those butterflies, that anxiety, that hit me right away, and I was like, we got to do this. This is the one. And it was 5 years ago I beat him. He's done great things. I've done great things, and we were just on a collision course. It seemed to do it again. Number 2, number 3, number 1's fighting the champ. So it just makes sense, I think, in the division as well.
Would be a huge fight without a title on it, regardless, because of who you guys are. But the BMF title,
that was thrown on kind of last minute. Like when we first started talking about the fight, that wasn't brought up.
Yeah. Is that fun at all? Did you care? Or what does that mean to you?
It's cool. It's cool. It's a legacy fight. That's what my wife told me. She said this about legacy. Put this BMF belt up on my mantle. When I'm gone from the sport, I can talk back about, the second BMF in UFC history fight. And it's history. It's legacy. It's fun. But even to have your name in the hat to be considered for a fight like this is a special thing.
To work harder.
The BMF title, kind of become a love thing. It's fun. Does it feel like, because you've been in championship matchups, does it have the same feel as a true championship matchup, or is it just kind of a fun aspect?
I think this fight gives you that feel without anything on the line. But yeah, for the legacy, it's huge. We first is championship belts and second is legacy. That's why we fight. Third might be money, but those first two things are very important. And, we're all trying to create a legacy that's going to live on well past our time. And that's been my goal from day one.
I think a lot of people look at it as a 50-50 fight the same way you do. A lot's being made about the elevation, the fact that you train in elevation, live in elevation. Do you feel that matters when you get in there?
I think it's going to help with the confidence a little bit, but at the end of the day, tired is tired and it's going to suck. And we've both been, preparing mentally to push through that. And that's part of the game.
Last thing for me, I think at this point in your career, it doesn't really matter what stakes you're fighting for. People are going to want to tune in and watch you fight, right? But that in mind, that title, is that still what's top of mind? And are you viewing this as, hey, number 1 contender fight, I fight the winner of October?
Yeah, I haven't been told directly that the winner is fighting for the belt, but I assume that. But, I say this every time I sit up here in front of you guys. I don't want to look forward that far because Saturday needs to happen. And it's a crazy thing we do, but the plan is to get my hand raised, and then when the smoke clears, we'll assess the next fight and where the division's at and what happens in Abu Dhabi and all. It's just so much things that need to happen and that are going on that is just noise until Saturday happens. So I'm fully focused on 25 minutes with Justin, and it's wartime, man.
Dustin, when you left the arena last time after fighting Justin, did part of you think, I'm going to have to fight this guy again? That fight was too good and the fans are going to want to see it?
No, it didn't. I actually sat next to Justin at one of the pay-per-views in Vegas, and we were, talking, chopping it up, and I told him, I was like, dude, I don't want to do that again. I told him that. I was like, I don't want to do that again, and here we are about to throw hands. But I honestly, throughout the 5 years since the first fight, I didn't see it coming.
Last thing for me, I mean, everybody's looking forward to this fight. Every time you get in there, it could be a fight of the year. Are you looking at this also as a number one contender fight? We know we've got a championship matchup in a few months. I mean, are you thinking about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is number 2 versus number 3. I mean, number 1's fighting the champion in October, and then we're going to fight the winner of that, the winner of this fight.
Justin, earlier this week, Dustin said if this fight goes 25 minutes, you'll both be talking about it in hospital because that's where you'll be. Do you sort of agree with that assessment?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we both created a lot of damage. 25 minutes is a long time to create that damage. So I mean that's a pretty fair assessment, I would say.
For people who don't understand the elevation, on UFC Embedded, it looked like Dustin only just got here. He didn't come here early to acclimatize. What sort of difference does it make training at elevation for your fight performance?
I think confidence. Confidence is huge, and it's just going to give me that confidence. I've been pushing myself, extremely hard at altitude, higher altitude than this, but tired is tired, and we're going to get really tired.
You mentioned those pre-fight anxieties, right? And fight week, that's always going to be there. But knowing what you went through the last time and knowing what's waiting for you on Saturday, is it almost worse? Is this fight week like, oh God, okay, Saturday is really going to be a rough one, or are you just, hey, it's a fight, I get in there, I do what I do?
Both. Like I trust myself to make a way through the roughness, but it's gonna get rough, Like I said before, adversity will present itself in this fight, but I trust myself to get off the stool, keep myself safe, find the openings, pick my shots. I've matured a lot in this sport, and I think you're going to see it Saturday.
This time we're a bit higher up in the air. Did you do anything special to prepare for the elevation?
I had a company called Higher Peak Altitude Training come in and send me a tent and a machine that you can sleep at altitude. So I did the last 2 weeks at 5,000 feet in South Florida. And came out here Friday morning. And my house I'm at here is an Airbnb. It's like 5,100 feet. So I'm about 1,000 feet or so above where we're going to fight. And I hope that's enough. But I don't get tired, man. 5,000 feet ain't enough.
A lot of people talk, you included, talk about your transition from crazy brawler to more technical striker. Does any part of you wonder, like, if me and Dustin go in there and it goes crazy, that I'll have to just revert back to that crazy brawler and I still have that in me? Or do you think, no, I have to be more technical to find success?
Yeah, I think I have to be more technical, no matter what. Obviously, I'm willing to, fight fire with fire. That's what we do in this game. But, I'm going to try to be as methodical as possible and make no mistakes. At this level, it's mistakes. Take advantage of their mistakes and make no mistakes.
In terms of the BMF title, you two are fighting for the belt, but is there anyone else in the division that you think, hey, that guy, he's BMF, and I could see myself maybe defending this title against him one day?
Oh, shit. I'm not really thinking about anybody else right now.
Thank you.
Justin Poirier. Is there? I asked Dustin this too because he's only had one rematch in his entire career. You've had a few and you've won them all. Is there any difference in preparation, not specifically for Justin, but just rematches in general leading into a fight compared to when you're fighting a fresh face?
It depends how long. Well, this is my opinion, obviously, but it depends how long they are between each other. Me and Justin fought 5 years ago, so this is I'm went about this like it's a new fight. I'm not going to break down the footage and dwell on that too much because we both changed so much and had our successes and our losses and changed things and just got better in the sport. We didn't waste 5 years. We're both better fighters now. Other fights like the Eddie Alvarez fight was a lot closer together, so we did go back and watch a lot of things he did. The Max Holloway fight was a long time between as well, so I try to look at it as a brand new fight.
Earlier today, Justin was on, I think it was like Pardon the Interruption or something like that, and he said that he knows you're ready and he's ready, but I think his words were, I think our families are terrified for this rematch. So when you told your family, like, I'm going to have to go rematch Justin Gaethje, what did they say?
Well, my wife kind of knew, like whenever I told her, she kind of knew, but it's an unsaid agreement. It's an unwritten agreement. She knows when I go into that zone and she knows what this is, and especially a fight like this. Everyone knows, not even family. People at home who follow the sport knows what this is, and I want to go there. I think that's where I do my best work. And the fact that the fans and Justin, he doesn't go out of his way to portray that, but he's kind of got that aura about him now as the chaos and the most violent and all that. But I really am that, and he knows that. So let's go there.
But just kind of going off of that, do you envision that if you do win, that you would defend this belt? Because I know Jorge never really defended. He said that was one of one.
Yeah, I think the aspirations are the championship belt. I think this catapults us right to that, and so I won't be looking to defend that. If I have a choice, it's going to be going for the championship belt.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is your first rematch since the Luis Palomino fight, the second one. In terms of preparation in camp, does anything change when you're preparing for a rematch as opposed to a fresh face?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think, especially with the 5 years in between, we're both completely different people, different fighters. And, with age comes wisdom. I've obviously grown. He's grown. And, there's, I remember he has a really nice left hand. It's a beautiful left hand, so we've been working on that.
And given how after your first fight, like he had to do his media scrum sitting down because you beat him up, you had obviously a lot of damage too. When you went to your family and you were like, "I'm fighting Dustin Poirier again," were they just like they remembered what happened last time after the fight? Did they?
Yeah, my family is extremely competitive. If we go bowling, we have to take different vehicles because somebody will leave somebody. So they're as excited as I am for a chance to get that fight back.
We asked Justin this too because Jorge is probably going to wrap the belt around the winner, and he said to him that makes it a little more sweeter knowing that he's taking it away from ATT. Does it make it a little more sweeter knowing that you're going to be fighting to keep it at ATT?
Yeah, it's great to keep that title at American Top Team. We're going to put it next to the one George brought to the gym and keep the tradition alive. Masvidal's a buddy of mine, and proud of that guy. He the resurgence he had in his career, from backyards to being a superstar, one of the biggest names in the sport. He showed the rest of us that if you just stay the path, keep hustling, keep grinding, good things will happen.
Dustin, right here. When Justin was in here earlier, he said he thinks his best chance of winning this fight is to be more technical than the last one and more technical than you. We know how good your boxing is and how much you embrace the technique. Is that a mistake from him on that mindset? Do you think he needs to turn this into more of a brawl to give himself a chance to win?
Yeah, I do. If he wants to technically kickbox with me and grapple with me, I think his best chances are to catch me being crazy and landing a shot. If he tries to take his time and be methodical, I'm going to show you levels for sure.
Hey Justin, I don't know if you saw this stat, but it's kind of a wild one. Like since your last fight,
Yeah, the exact same.
yeah, isn't that just a weird? When you saw that, did you trip out?
I mean, we both fight the best, and we both continue to do that. Both continue to prove ourselves. And so with that loss, the trajectory was different, but ultimately the destination's always the same. We've both been fighting for a championship belt this entire time.